A distinguished member of Juvenile Justice Committee to tell me the welcome address. Namaste. Good morning to our Hon'ble the Chief Justice Dhiraj, Dhiraj Judge, High Court of Bombay, and the Chairperson of the Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, my esteemed brother and sister judges, other dignitaries and participants of the state level stakeholders on Safeguarding the Girl Child 2025. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to this meaningful and important gathering focused on a cause that touches the safeguarding the girl child. Let us remember that a world without a girl is as impossible as world.
A very good morning to all of you. At the very outset, I express my deep gratitude to the Honorable the Chief Justice of the Andhra Pradesh High Court, Shri Dhiraj Singh Thakur ji, and the Juvenile Justice Committee for inviting me at the state level stakeholders consultation 2025. It is indeed an honor and privilege to be here today. Thank you. The theme chosen for this year, Safeguarding the Girl Child towards a safer and enabling environment for her in India, is both timely and relevant. It compels us to introspect, to evaluate what has been achieved so far, and to identify the areas where much more remains to be done. Our Constitution guarantees to every child the right to life, dignity, equality, and protection from exploitation. Article 39 directs the state to ensure that children are given opportunities to develop in a healthy environment. Article 15(3) empowers the state to make special provisions for children and women. Constitutional guarantees and laws exist to protect the girl child. But the question is, have we in reality been able to provide a safe and enabling environment for a girl child? Mahatma Gandhi ji once said, the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. This statement should guide our commitment to protecting the girl child. The future of a girl child depends on what we do for them in present, on what measures we take to safeguard the girl child in India, on how we can give the girl child a better future so that her dreams and aspirations can be fulfilled, on how we can provide a safer environment for a girl child to flourish without any fear of being exposed to violence of any kind, including sexual exploitation. There are several strategies that are there which can be employed to ensure protection of a girl child. I will just highlight a few. The first strategy is implementation of laws like the POCSO Act, the Prohibition of the Child Marriage Act, and all other acts enacted to protect girls, effectively with specialized training for police officers and judicial officers. We all know that under the POCSO Act, how girl child is protected, her identity is protected, how her statement is to be recorded in at her residence, how the police officer is not to be in uniform and to be in civil clothes so that she doesn't feel intimidated, how her evidence is to be recorded. All these provisions are there in the POCSO Act. The question is how it is implemented effectively and with sensitivity by the officers concerned. The second strategy would be by providing education, skill development, and leadership opportunities to the girls to enable them to assert their rights and stand for themselves. In short, to empower girls through education. The third strategy would be to engage community leaders, parents, and local influences to help create a safer environment for girls, to promote gender equality and respect, and to change patriarchal mindsets. To challenge existing biases requires the collective effort of one and all. One cannot forget that all that a girl child seeks is equal opportunities as their counterparts, that is, the boys. And therefore, you have even the Right to Education Act. All of you must have heard about Malala Yousafzai, a 17-year-old girl from Pakistan who was the youngest recipient of the Nobel Prize laureate. She advocated for the education to fulfill their dreams. It is also important that the stakeholders, particularly the government, invest in the basic infrastructure. When you say basic infrastructure, it would even mean providing street lighting to ward off any untoward incident, to provide clean public restrooms and safe public transportation to reduce the girls' vulnerability. Another strategy would be to foster partnerships between government agencies, NGOs, and private sector organizations to amplify the impact of a safe and enabling environment for a girl child. In order to take all these strategies forward, the role of the stakeholders is immense. One, that it is imperative that the government policies relating to girl child are effectively implemented. For this, resource allocation is extremely important. It is also imperative and essential that all the stakeholders, particularly the law enforcement agencies and judicial officers, are given specialized training and they are sensitized towards the issues relating to the girl child. As Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, "A true character of a society is revealed in how it treats its children." In fact, the police are the first interface with the common man when a case comes to fore. So therefore, it is very important that they are sensitized and they need to know how to deal with these such issues. The third very important aspect is that the education department of the government should promote empowerment of the girl child through education and awareness. We all know that ignorance of law is no excuse, but the reality in life is that many children, especially boys, who are the perpetrators of sexual assault, are unaware of the law and the consequences of their actions. Even in cases of romantic relationships, the boys are unaware of the law. Hence, it is imperative that the education department, in coordination with stakeholders, introduces structured awareness programs in schools and colleges, both in rural and urban areas, to spread awareness of laws in this area. If students from the 9th and 10th standards and students from colleges are sensitized about the POCSO Act and its consequences, we can at least make some effort in reducing crimes before they occur. As it is said, prevention is better than cure. Today, what is deeply disturbing is that even small girls, in fact, even infants, are not spared from sexual assault. We must all collectively ask ourselves, what fuels this perversity? What systemic and societal measures should we take to prevent such assaults before they occur? I believe that for far too long, society has always told the girl child, don't go here late in the night, don't wear this, beware of sexual assault. It's high time, I believe, that we start telling our boys what to do and what not to do. There has to be a paradigm shift from not only educating girls, but educating boys. What efforts must be taken to provide a safe environment for the girl child? Measures also need to be taken to ensure that that a girl child does not become a victim of sexual assault. When a girl becomes a victim of sexual assault, rehabilitation must remain at the core of our approach. The POCSO Act, while focusing on stringent punishment, also envisions the care, protection, and rehabilitation of survivors. Yet survivors continue to struggle for medical aid, for counseling, to get support persons, social integration, and above all, dignity. Compensation and rehabilitation are as important as punishment of the offender. We have seen, as judges of the High Court, maybe in Andhra Pradesh and in Bombay, that you get a lot of MTP cases for medical termination of pregnancy. The girls are hardly 14, 15 years of age. They want to study. They come for, it's sometimes too late to even give permission. They may be in the 9th standard, they may be in the 10th standard. What I have seen, that the girls who come want to pursue their education. The parents are struggling not to let the neighbors know because of the stigma that is attached. So we must take measures to ensure that such girls are given. In Maharashtra, we have the Manudhairya scheme, where we give compensation, even interim compensation, as soon as an FIR is registered. I'm sure something Andhra Pradesh must be also having. So it's important that we ensure that even when we deal with such cases, at that stage, you must ensure that the schemes that are made available are given to the girls, to her parents, so that they are not left, the family is not left helpless. We must also ensure that through some NGO or a support person, that she continues her education. We must all ensure collectively rehabilitation and reintegration of survivors so that they can reclaim their lives with dignity.
First of all, I must thank Justice Revati Dere who accepted our invitation to become to participate in these deliberations and in the inaugural session, despite the fact that she was under the weather and is on heavy antibiotics. But our purpose of extending that invitation to her was because we had known the contribution that she had made in this field, not only in the state of Maharashtra, but also at the national level. The topic for deliberations pertains to not only a child, but to a girl child. If we go back into the history, we have seen how women have suffered, especially in this country, where initially there was this practice of sati, which got discontinued, got prohibited with the efforts of social reformers, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. But the pain and suffering of women over the years, although has reduced on account of spread of education, but it has not been totally eliminated. Now, all this is attributed generally to the society, who over the years treated a lady as somebody who was more, or a child, a girl child, more as a matter of burden than an asset to the family. most of the times it has been seen that a girl child was considered not as a matter of responsibility, but a liability, who could not contribute to the well-being of the family, and therefore the effort was to somehow get her married at the earliest. Child marriages therefore became very prevalent. Child marriages were also are stated to be attributed to the economic condition of some families, and with a view to overcome that hardship, perhaps the responsibility was shifted from the parental group to the family of the husband. But this was changed. Constitutional protection, which speakers before me referred to, with a view to bring about laws which ensured equality, irrespective of gender. Protection of girl child also is there. While the legal framework is in place, it all depends upon how it gets reflected and transformed on the ground. Now, if we see some data, and especially with regard to children, the global data suggests that 90 million children alive today have experienced sexual violence, and more than 1 billion women and men were subjected to such violence in their childhood. 1.6 billion children, or 2 in 3 globally, regularly endure violent punishment by caregivers at home. Among those children who experience violent discipline, more than 2/3 are subjected to both physical punishment and psychological aggression. Violence at home is also rampant. 3 out of 4 young children are regularly subjected to violent discipline by their caregivers. There is violence at school. Worldwide, close to 130 million, more than 1 in 3 students from ages 13 to 15 experience bullying. 86% of the world's children are not fully protected from corporal punishment by law. There is violence online now, and more than 1/3 of young people in 30 countries report as being a victim of online bullying. In 2020, more than 153,000 websites were reported as containing images of child sexual abuse, an increase of 16% from the year before. Sexual violence worldwide is rampant, and approximately 15 million adolescent girls between the ages of 15 to 19 experienced forced sexual intercourse or other forced sexual acts in their lifetime. Children with disabilities are almost 4 times more likely to experience violence than non-disabled children. Another thing which we saw, and I pointed it out in the last meet that we had last year, was that those children who were sexually assaulted, 90% of them, according to the National Crime Bureau's report, were assaulted by those who were known to the family. This is something very alarming. So it is not a person who is walking on the road who comes and who enters a house. So young children who don't know what is right, what is wrong, incapable of understanding, are assaulted and exploited by those who are known to the family. they may be a close relation, they may be a servant in the house. This is quite, and therefore, that this message has to be somehow spread, that you have not only to protect your children from outsiders, you have also to be vigilant as to what is happening around you in your close family circles. Because this is the reality of, this is the reality which gets reflected on the basis of data. Violence in schools is so rampant. I remember we used to have a physical education teacher who used to sort of be very strict in school. And we would prepare for our sports day function, which was an annual affair. And there used to be a march past. Very important facet which was highlighted by Justice Revati was with regard to sensitizing the children, especially boys in classes 9 and 10, about the serious effects of the provisions of the POXO Act. This is very important because most of our children in their genuine liking during that adolescent period may fall into that those rigorous provisions of the POXO Act which may spoil and scar their life forever. Therefore, this type of a program to inform them as to what are the serious consequences must be taken up very urgently. There has always been some sort of a gender disparity, be it in the ratio of boys is to girls. In Andhra Pradesh, the disparity in the literacy rates between boys and girls was like 73%, if I'm not mistaken. That figure was with me somewhere. 73% insofar as males are concerned, and 59% insofar as girls are concerned. But while these are facts and figures, there are also winds of change blowing across the world, and India is no exception, and our state is not an exception either. I would like to share with you the statistics insofar as the judicial officers in our state are concerned. So it goes like this, that in the year 2021, there were recruited 10 males as civil judges junior division and 11 females. So percentage of women judges was 52%. In 2023, the percentage of male judges was 7 and female judges was 13. So 65% were lady judges recruited and the rest were male judges. In 24, this goes up. Male judges 5 and female judges 13. So percentage of women was 72% in 24. Then in 25, it went up to 73% because 3 got appointed as civil judges junior division and 8 got appointed as were female judges. So 73%. So progressively, there has been an increase in the percentage of lady judges. Now, how could this be possible? This could only be possible because of various schemes that are in place, various sensitization programs that are in place, the effort of the government, the effort of the literate parents who have understood that a girl child is not a liability, she is an asset. She may be a responsibility. You may have the responsibility to get her married, but she is not a liability. Please, generally you hear people when they talk, they say, I have a liability. So what is your liability? I have 2 daughters to get married at home. So that mindset has to change. And I have seen that if you have a girl child, she is capable of serving her parents more than a female child, than a male child. Like pardon me for this, they say that a girl child is for life and a male child is only till he gets a wife. So that mindset needs to be changed. The entire purpose of having these consultations is to bring to focus again the importance of the issue on how to further encourage children, girl child, and girls who are in that age group up till 18 years to follow their studies, to incentivize them. There are incentives, there are schemes which are in place, and some of the schemes will be highlighted during the course of the consultations. But they need to be highlighted further. We need to take proactive steps, in fact, to ensure that wherever there is any propensity or there is a possibility of a girl child suffering in the school or in the home, at home, by neighbors, by anybody who is following her under the POCSO Act, there is a provision that if there is sexual harassment, a girl child needs to be protected. Now the question is that for getting that protection, there has to be a means. And the means provided is by way of a helpline number. Day before yesterday, while we were having some preliminary discussion as to what was the conferences, what was the consultation about, me and officers from the Juvenile Justice Committee and also the Legal Services Authority, we said, let us test how does the helpline number react and respond. So we called up that number 1981, or what was that number? 1098. And what was the name of the officer? No? No. Name of the officer. The name of the officer, Nagini, The name of the officer who responded on the phone was one Miss Ragini, who appeared to be very confident. I was very happy because we had kept the phone on loudspeaker. She was very proactive, she was very active, she was very responsive, and we were happy that yes, and the phone did not ring for more than 5 seconds before it got picked up by the concerned person at the help desk. Unlike a phone on a toll-free number, if you call a bank, it keeps ringing and says that you are on hold and therefore you will have to wait. Unlike that, I must congratulate the Secretary of the Department, Women and Child Development Department. Perhaps that is a helpline number with, yes. Very good. You have done extremely well, and we expect further, you see, from you. And because you are the actual department which has to give shape to how best to implement on ground all these schemes. So we asked Ms. Nagini, you tell us how many calls have you received approximately till now? And she said that she has received something like 8,000 calls on this number from various quarters. Now, we asked her what were the nature of SOS messages that you received. So she said that sometimes the children themselves call, sometimes friends of children call. So in schools, if supposing there is going to be a child marriage, the friends of the girl call up, saying that there is this girl, a friend of mine, who is being forcefully made to marry against her wishes. So this is how the information trickles into the concerned, you see, authorities. What I was thinking is that at least I did not remember the helpline number. If supposing I was to report a child being exploited, a child being forcefully made to marry, so what is the helpline number? I won't remember. Therefore, how important it is that if there is a forum or a platform which is available to a child to bring it to his notice, his memory, or if he wants to recollect, to see it in physical form, that toll number, which is so very essential for his immediate rescue. And during the course of our discussion day before yesterday, and we are just thinking aloud, if it was possible, if it would be possible for the department to have some sort of a chart fixed in every class, in every school in the state, which would always remind them. Generally, I remember in our classrooms, there used to be various charts pictorially depicting the various subjects. Why can't we have a chart mandatorily to be fixed in every classroom? So you will see that as against 8,000 calls which your toll-free helpline number received, the calls will go up. Maybe some child who has not been able to realize as to what is his remedy gets to know that if somebody, if some teacher is assaulting him physically or sexually or wherever, he has some remedy and he can call somebody who will help him get out of that situation. Therefore, that perhaps may be also looked into. I need not go through my speech because most of it has already been taken care of by my honorable colleagues, honorable judges on the dais, and very minutely by Justice Revati. I only wish all of you all the best, and we hope that the consultations which you will have today will really make some discernible change in the policy, either in improving the policy or some discernible change in making life easy for a girl child. I wish you all the best.
Himabindu garu to felicitate our special guest today, Srimati Malati Dhari garu.
This officially concludes the inaugural session. We request all the dignitaries to join for the tea.